welcome to another episode of SkipperWing Draws a Thing, where I, the eponymous SkipperWing, draw a thing. As stated, my name is Colin SkipperWing Bird, and if you'd like a version of this video without the audio commentary, you can check out the links in the description below, or in the cards, or in the annotations when they appear on screen at the end of the video. Before we get started, today's music is I Don't Fight Boys, a remix of Chun-Li's theme from Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo by Malkos and Red-Tailed Fox on the website ocremix.com. You can find a link to download it in the description below. So, today's illustration is an original character for an originalish idea of mine. I have to admit, when it comes to creativity and original IPs, I'm not the brightest bulb in the chandelier. Most of my ideas for just about everything come from remixing things I already follow obsessively. Technically speaking, that's pretty much how all creativity works. Taking things that you are already at least partially familiar with, life experiences, people, environments, and or animals, etc., combining, deconstructing, recontextualizing them, and presenting them as something new with the context removed. And a filter through your unique method of presentation so as to seem wholly original. Some people are better at the research, others are better at the recontextualizing, others still are better at the presentation, and others still are better at the removal/obscuring of the context. I personally lean towards the research, having a moderately wide pool of sources, news, and experiences to draw from, and the presentation, my unique SkipperWing flair. But I'm not so good at the deconstruction, aka, can you tell what I like by looking at this picture? It's not hard. And also the removal of context. Again, can you tell what I like by this picture? But I'm working on it, and the only way to get better at it is by practicing. Also, I'm trying to move away from the working on intellectual property that I don't own. Not so much out of any sort of moral obligation, though I'm trying to work with the golden rule, i.e. I don't want to be stolen from, so I'm trying not to steal anymore. But more from a sense of pragmatism. One day, something's going to happen. Either I'll get hit with a copyright strike, copyright law itself will finally catch up with both the internet and the fandom market, or the websites that tolerate copyright abuses will finally crack down. Either way, I want to be ready for that when that day comes. Not get caught with my pants down and have to remove the vast majority of my content from the internet. So I'm working from my own ideas, as partially baked as they are. So, who is this kid? This is Prince Son of the Wukong Kingdom, the main protagonist of my future IP, Momentum and Flow. Think of it as the tale of Siddhartha Gautama, starring Sun Wukong, by way of Avatar: The Last Airbender or The Legend of Korra. See what I mean about how creativity fluxes around? Sun is the prince of the Wukong Kingdom, a land ruled by monkeys who have mastered a mystical martial art that have made them invincible against the local populace and brought them to heel. The prince, however, is unable to master this particular martial art and unsure of his role in life until a mysterious master of an alternative art form makes a mockery of his father and the court, causing Prince Son to reconsider his place in life and the place of his family at the head of the country. And so, he abdicates the throne to explore the countryside and learn from this mysterious master and the people he has been isolated from his entire life. However, his trials won't be easy. The common folk have come to hate the monkeys for their dominion of the country, and his father isn't happy that his son has run away. Worse, this abdication has set in motion political turmoil since the prince is missing and the chain of succession is in peril, which is great news for opportunists of the court. Can Prince Son find the answers he needs? And will he return in time to prevent all-out war? Find out as I eventually get this party started. As for the actual illustration, I find that while I have a pretty strict process for the Crimson Fly, it's pretty open for just about everything else. Worse, I find myself illustrating so rarely that I find myself having to relearn how to color and after having applied the basic inks, lighting, and shadow. Should the shadows be in color? Should the highlights be in color? Should the spot shadows be the same color as the outline? I find the best way to figure out these things is by experimenting as much as possible, and or dividing them into as many layers and frames as necessary, so that I have escapes if one idea doesn't necessarily pan out. I thank the structure of Adobe Flash / Adobe Animate for this, since I don't have to worry about iterations as much as I would in a traditional illustration program like Photoshop. That being said, this is a fairly unique method, and so if it doesn't work for you, I highly suggest further exploration. Let me know what you think and or what works for you in the comments, with also a link to your gallery so that I and or anyone else who pops by can check out your work too. And that's it for today's video. Please, if you like what you saw, please subscribe and turn on the notifications, that's the little bell thing next to the subscribe button, to keep seeing these videos. Also, please check out my animated interactive comic, The Crimson Fly. This is Colin SkipperWing Bird signing out, and I'll catch you skipperlings later.